So we're in Fleetwood Football Ground at the moment, which is going to be the home for this anti-fracking.
For Frack-free Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lovely ground in it, and hopefully we'll have a full stadium on the day.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a pretty good event. So, what made you want to get involved?
What, with the football club, you mean?
With the event in general.
Well, it all started. It was a strange day actually, because we come down to Blackpool. We got invited down by Cheryl and the Fleetwood anti-fracking return, and he asked if we would come down, and there's a meeting being held by a Labour, diplomat, and a local Labour council, Blackpool Labour Council, had been brought down to have a talk about fracking and how we can prevent fracking and what actions we can take to do fracking. And generally it was a talk about some of the things we can do about fracking, and at the same time Cheryl said to me, Andy, who's the chairman of the football club, asked me would I come and give him a visit with view of doing the end of season celebrations for the football club, because he supports. I like Andy a lot actually, because he supports his local community. He's passionate about football. He's a proper working class lad who cares for where he lives. So obviously we got down there, we see Bez Gas, right? Oh no, when my pal goes, bloody hell. Best gas, and we had to ask him what his position was on fracking, and the most amazing thing, he is against fracking because obviously he's a local lad, he lives in the area, he's got kids there, and he knows it's an unsafe technology, and he gets all his gas from the North Sea, which, by the way, we've got a 4-year pocket left in the pocket we're using presently, and they've just found there's another pocket what they found with another 60 years worth of gas leak. So our North Sea gas supplies are fit, strong, healthy and ready to go to supply the nation to see it through to renewable energy. So so he asked us would I get involved with the club with the end of season celebration. He wanted to put a party on for the people of Fleetwood Football Club and Fleetwood itself. And of course we said yeah, because he was an anti-fracker, and he's agreed to let his stadium and Fleetwood Football Clubs to come out against fracking.
So with the anti-fracking side of things, there seems to be three communities for the against argument. The first of which you always get them, and that's the doom and glooms.
Yeah.
End of the world. One person told me. The second one is the ones that are more informed.
Yeah.
And it's the actual process that they don't like. And then the third group is the side that actually they don't like the thought of tapping into yet another natural resource. So whereabouts do you fall on?
Well, where I fall is I came to fracking because first of all I've been living this permacultural existence, on sharing land in a small community, growing all my own food organically, and creating energy, looking at ways of creating different energies. I've built one community already like that. I've got another piece of land where I'm going to build another small community where it comes together. My idea is to get all these small little communities living off grid, trading amongst each other with free food, free energy, and your basic needs taken care of by producing everything yourself, you know what I mean, and acting as community. So I've been looking at it, living and experimenting in this lifestyle where money is less important and community activity is the key word, you know what I mean, where you help and live and act as community. Because what's happened is over the years it's been slowly torn apart. People don't go in pubs no more because it's too and all things like community nature have been like had the heart torn out of it, really, you know what I mean? So we want to try and rebuild this old ideal of living in community and not just for yourself, you know what I mean? And acting for others as well as yourself. It's old-fashioned, it works, and it brings about goodwill, you know what I mean, and happiness, and people actually. So this is where I was coming from, and then I got asked down to Barton Moss about the fracking, and I have been watching it quietly from the sidelines, thinking that the technology that insane, they won't actually bring it to our country because look how beautiful the place we live in. It's that, like you say, green and pleasant land. It's gorgeous, beautiful. We were so lucky to live in such a diverse. We got 4 seasons. We're incredibly lucky, and I didn't think that we would actually consider destroying our environment. It would never happen. You know what I mean? Then I got told that that Barton Moss, it's getting down to a critical point down at Barton, and would have come down and show some support to the people. And so I went down and I said I'll go down and show a bit of support. And then you still going at all, mate?
Yep, still going.
Yeah. And then the next morning, my phone started going. It was the Manchester News have got wind that was turning up down at Barton Moss, and I've been out to a local village pub in the middle of Wales. You know what I mean? Proper revolutionary pub as well. Lovely people. I love the Welsh people. They're great. They're great thinkers, and they're ahead of us on this community living site idea. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people living that lifestyle already down there, so I really like them for that as well, you know what I mean, because we need more of it. And anyway, I just woken up a bit hungover, really awake about 8 o'clock on Sunday morning in a bit of a grumpy mood, and I started spouting. They're asking about thinking, I was a bit angry, and one of the angry rants what came out was that I was going to run for Salford and Eccles because I knew that it's down to the local councils whether they're allowed to be fracking goes on in your local area, and I just said it off the cuff in an angry rant, and I put the phone down, and I was more worried about the way I spoke to this poor woman journalist because I weren't that nice to her for waking me. I was cursing, swearing at her, for waking me up in the morning, asking what the fuck you're doing, and I spoke to her quite horribly, and I put the phone down. I was more concerned about the way I spoken to this woman there rather than the fact that I said I'm thinking, because I'd forgotten all about it. It's all over the place that I'm standing for thinking. I've got such support for the idea that now we've gone beyond that, and we're standing for local council to a full-blown political party now, where some of my ideas was like free food, free energy, free drinking water, save the NHS, the jewel in our crown, and privatisation, you know what I mean? Because privatisation ain't freedom, man. It is a form of fascism, and plus on top of that, they've ended our legal aid system. So, for instance, if you have got a problem, say with your local sort of fracking well, you've got some problems and you want to take them to court to make claims because your family are ill, or you got rashes or something like that, and you are no longer entitled to legal aid. So we've got all this assault on the working classes and the poor going on, and I thought it's time to stand up and actually do something about the situations, what's going on, before it's too late. And we actually got no freedoms left. We're going to privatise the police, but absolutely privatise everything, you know what I mean? And that don't wash well with me. Like I say, my idea, free public transport, free energy, you know what I mean? I'm against privatisation, you know what I mean? And I think we should be looking at ways where, like I said, acting in community, that's what I was looking at, living for next to nothing, acting in this community. So I thought, we've got to stand against all this madness, what's going on, and try and make change and make a difference. So I like to think I have already had an effect by causing the debate, what I've already created by doing what I'm doing. And if that's all I can do, then I've done my job, because at the end of the day, people have got to speak up for what they think, what they want, and we can't be told by bankers and corporates what we need, and told that we can't join in their society because you ain't got no money. You know what I mean? And you're just left on the scrap heap at the sidelines whilst we just keep on getting richer, taking even more piss out of you and taking even more rights and freedoms away from you. So in the end, we'll just be like squashed like fly on the pavement, you know what I mean? With absolutely no rights whatsoever, no rights to legal aid, no rights to any medical care, absolutely even no rights to the police force, because the police force has been privatised as well, you know what I mean? We cannot allow this situation to happen, you know what I mean? So that was what I'm doing. So for me, it's not just about fracking. It's about a lot of things, and for example, I've had people like the when I was in Fleetwood, I came to a local Fleetwood meeting. I had the fire brigade, firefighters come to me, go, Bez, can you help us as well? I've had nurses come up to me in Salford, because they've actually ended now in Salford. If you're a pregnant woman, you do not get maternity care because they've ended it. There's no more midwives in Salford. You know what I mean? Imagine that. We cannot accept that as to be normal. You know what I mean? I refuse to accept that the mothers of Salford have got no maternity care anywhere. You know what I mean? That's insane. You know what I mean? So all this shit's going on, and I've got. I also, this is even madder one, who have I come to me for help, is I had the probation officers, the solicitors and the judges come along and asked me would I come along and support them as well, because with the legal aid system ending and there's going to be absolutely nobody, unless you've got money to defend yourself, are going to get any justice anymore in this country, and the only people who are winning are the corporates and the bankers, because they've got these plans like fracking or God knows what else what they've got going on in the mines, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, GM foods is another thing that I'm standing against, and the same fella called Owen Patterson, he's a conservative what's he called, lobbyist. He's lobbying Europe at the moment, which is like lobbying means bribery. They've got loads of money, and they lobby people with like, shit, I'll give you a cheque for 100 grand if you go in there and push for GM crops going in. And this is what he's doing. He's giving money out to Russian GM modified crops. This is how fracking's got into England, you know what I mean? This fella is looking to destroy our natural ecosystem through fracking and bringing GM modified foods, because once the pollen of this GM modified foods goes into the atmosphere and that's the end of our natural ecosystem. We will not be able to grow organic food anymore, and the only seed we'll be able to buy which will grow is Monsanto seed, which has been GM modified, because this company who want to come into England with the crops is called Monsanto, and they have patented every fucking seed in the world, so they own the rights to all the seeds in the world, and we cannot have that. So you've got to go to one company only to buy your seed. You've got to buy it every year. It won't be thingy food either, organic. If it's modified food, so it's had most of what you want out of your fruit and veg taken away from it. It's been radiated for shelf life. So basically, you're eating dead foods. You know what I mean? And this is what they're trying to bring in also. So I'm standing against genetically modified. They're killing off the bee population as well, so we can't pollinate and grow our own food anymore. So there's a lot of issues going on lots of different fronts where we're slowly being eradicated, more or less, you know what I mean? And have got no rights because we've got no money. So to me, that is not a situation I think is healthy for most of the population. So we've got to stand and try and make some change and let them know that we ain't going to be walked over, and we ain't going to be like left on the scrap heap, you know what I mean? And we want our rights, what we're entitled to, and we're willing to fight for it. So we now, the only other party who are against fracking, besides myself, is the Green Party. And I do like the Green Party and their policy, and I possibly would have joined them, but I want to take it a step further, because what they don't do, what I want to do, is make the bankers pay for their debt. they're sat there making trillions. They're saying how many billions they're going to make from fracking, but it don't come down to the local communities. It's just getting them richer, us even poorer, because like I said before, we've got no rights left. You know what I mean? Because they've been taken off us, legal aid, blah blah. The NHS has been closed down, privatised. You know what I mean? I know working families who cannot even feed. They're both families at work, and they cannot generate enough money for themselves to look after the families. They're struggling at the end of each month. Our first candidate who's running for us is an English teacher, and she can't afford to either pay him or who's feed herself, heat the thing here. And she's an English teacher, you know what I mean? So she's our first candidate who's running for the Earlham seat for us. So we're out now to try and make real change. We're a political party, and we're going to try and stand up for the people who have got no voice, and hopefully we can bring all these kids who are 16-year-old who don't vote. People don't vote no more. They've gone in the apathy. They don't care because they think there's nobody you can vote for. But it's now got to a point that it's absolutely crucial that we do something, otherwise we're going to get the facts. Everything we've had is going to be taken from us, you know what I mean? So we now can stand united with a party who has got policies and do care for the people. And like I say, the policies are free energy, free food, free drinking water, free public transport, and saving the NHS, you know what I mean? And that's all doable and payable, even if we stay within the present banking system. And we've collected all the corporate tax what's owed. Like Google alone owes something like $2 billion. Costco never paid it. Like all these American corporate companies are over here not paying. If they just pay for their taxes alone, that'd be enough to save the NHS and provide free public transport for everybody. You know what I mean? But no, but instead they want to bring out this new law now, where they can, if you don't pay the tax, they do like Wonga.com, they just go straight in your bank account without permission, no call, and just take your money off you. You know what I mean? But they won't do that to the corporates and the bankers. You know what I mean? The bankers they're getting what they're worth, trillions and trillions of pounds, getting richer. The poor are getting poorer because we're paying their debt off, because they're trying to say, well, we've got to take responsibility for their shit. Shared responsibility, you know what I mean? And they're like, well, they're not sharing their money out, are they? You know, what are you sharing with us? They're sharing nothing with us. That's what they're sharing and making us pay. That ain't right. So all these things we want to put right. So if we get power, we can do this job what I want to do. You know what I mean? Which is hopefully create a better place with renewable energy. The bankers being punished as they should have been. The people in government and parliament who helped create this mess, who are partially responsible, punished also. You know what I mean? Because they got away with a hideous crime, scot-free, and don't have to account for what they've done, which is not, that is not what I call, a free society. You know what I mean? Free, just society. What's free and just about that? You know what I mean? So they've all more or less been given a license to do whatever they want with no consequence. And we cannot live in a society like that where we're getting punished to death and they get away scot-free and richer for everything they do. So the reality party is standing against it. They know and speaking for the people and trying to speak for the rights, what we're entitled to.
So it's a long way that you've come from the days in the band then, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I'm still in the band as well. I do all that, and plus all the other shit I do also, you know what I mean? Because I've just finished building a load of hives, putting 3 beehives into the schools, along with juicers and organic seeds and guy. And I'm doing all this with my own money, you know what I mean? I'm raising money I'm selling off some paint miracles done by local artists. The son done the story, they put £500 contribution. So what I'm hoping to do is roll out permaculture across the nation and try and get it on the school curriculum so we can teach our young children how to look after themselves, how to grow food for themselves, how to keep bees, the importance of bees, and the importance of health and having your body in an alkaline state. Because what we ain't told is all these diseases like cancer, diabetes, is caused through having your body in your body's in an acidic state. And if your body's acidic, you're open to all these diseases. But if you get your body in an alkaline state, this is about prevention. It's been proven by science that cancer, diabetes, and a host of other diseases cannot exist in an alkaline body. So we need to be teaching people about prevention and how to return the bodies in an alkaline state. So this is why I want to go in schools, teach about organic food, the bees, and try and get past this message on how to look after yourselves for the future. Because like the idea goes to food banks, it's not a good idea really, you know what I mean? So you need to take responsibility back for yourself, for feeding yourself, for your own health, you know what I mean? Because like I said, the end of the NHS system and all that, so we need to look at keeping ourselves well and how to do it. And it's simple science really, you know what I mean? So this is the message what I'm trying to get out there. So yeah, but that's before I got involved in politics. So I've got all these projects going on, plus now I've got all the politics going on also. So I'm like, well, I could do with a few extra hours in each day to be truthful, because I'm not getting enough time to get everything done what I want to do. And like I say, I'm not getting enough time to do what my passion is at the moment, which is permaculture, creating free energy, because that's what my real passion is, and that's what I want to go out. And thinking, go here, I'll go, oh no, there's that kid again giving free energy away, you know what I mean? How magic would that be? So that wasn't where my dream was coming from, you know what I mean? But now we're like, I'm involved in politics now, you know what I mean? Through a mad run of events really. So here I am at Fleetwood Football Club, Highbury, the home of the Cod Army. Cod Army, Cod Army.
So we've got the event on the weekend coming up.
Yeah.
Are you going to be here? Are you going to be doing?
This weekend is it?
The anti-fracking.
Fracking Sunday. Yeah. Well, of course I'll be here. We've got some really good speakers who've got to speak between each band. Maybe have a few short films and people who don't know about fracking, we hopefully can bring attention to them, right? So, and we've got some great bands on and a great day of music hopefully, and a bit of Fleetwood sunshine we hope.
Well, thanks for sitting down and having a chat.
All right, mate, not a problem, and thanks for listening to us. I hope you've got enough information there for your readers.
I'm going to hit stop on that one.